welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Onward VR Master League. I am your caster, Noman with a 4, joined today on the co-cast desk by some fresh meat, a relatively new caster by the name of Hutcho. Hutcho, how are you doing?
I'm good, mate. I might be fresh, but I'm still very tasty. Good to see you all today. Can't wait to get this matchup between Leftovers and Blaze. What do
Yeah,
you think about these teams?
the week 4 matchup, this is kind of where it starts to get settled in the VRML. This is where MMR starts to kind of put everybody in the proper slots, start getting the matchups to be more even. I expect to see a lot less blowouts and a lot more, knockdown, drag-out fights between these teams. And these two is the first time they're going at it, so I don't know what to expect necessarily. Do you have any thoughts, Huncho? Like, do either of these teams strike you as special?
I don't know much about Blaze. I think that's more your expertise there, but I do know the Leftovers are heavy smoke users. They like to throw their smokes, a good 5 per player if possible. They like to get on objective and they want to try and get that cap as fast as possible. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys go about doing that against a more veteran team in Blaze.
Yeah, and Blaze, definitely my alma mater, but a very different team than when I was on it. Almost completely revamped roster as of late, so a lot of new folks on the team, and I think they're still trying to find their rhythm, trying to find, hit their stride. So this matchup, I think, kind of makes sense. Their positioning in the ladder is starting to settle, and I think it's settling where they should be for this time in the season. But both teams, I think, good ones to watch throughout the season as well, and especially depending on how this one shakes out. Maybe one more than the other, but we'll see how that goes. So let's get into bans while the lobby gets set up, and I've got the bans already preloaded here. So on the home team side, Blaze banning Snowpeak. And meanwhile, on the leftover side, Sand is out of the rotation. Any thoughts on those bans? Any one of those strike you as interesting?
I think Sand ban is very interesting. Being a very small map, it's like, I don't know, I thought it would have been playing into the Leftovers' strengths to be actually picking Sand, but yeah, so they've banned that, possibly because they think Blaze are going to be the superior team on that map, or it's just because they don't like it. But on the other hand, Snowpeak is kind of a wildcard map. You could get CQB engagements, you could get long range engagements, so that's kind of just taking out a little bit of risk out of the game for Blaze. I think they know what they're going for with that ban.
Yeah, it's definitely a map that I don't think they're quite comfortable on yet, and Sand is I think one of the most banned maps in the league currently. I mean, as far as I know, I've seen it on almost every cast up until now. So not super surprising, and Blaze, sort of known for their aggressive play style, can be really dominant on Sand if you don't have a good way of shutting down their rush. So maybe a ban there could be for the strength of Blaze, could be for the weakness of Leftovers, but speculation is all we got because teams don't let us know the thoughts behind it. That's part of the strategy. But we do have the first map choice already locked in, and you can see on your screen there, it is going to be Suburbia for round 1. Not a surprising pick from the aggressive Blaze team. Your thoughts on Suburbia, Hutch?
I mean, if Blaze is an aggressive team, I know the Leftovers are too, so it's going to be a very offense-heavy map, I feel. It's going to be very entertaining. As soon as I seen Suburbia just now, a big smile came on my face. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, I
wait.
can't imagine we go very long in this series either. I mean, we've got 3 other games going, but you're going to want to keep your eyes on this one. I'm a little biased because there's going to be some fast action here. And we could be done well before even maybe a second map is complete on any other, if the aggression comes out to play here today. So we've got the matchup all figured out. We've got the map up and ready to go. We're just waiting on a few folks to file in to the lobby here, so I want to take a little bit of time here just at the top and say big thank you to everybody for coming out on this fine Thursday afternoon. this triple header cast is exactly what we want going through the season. Is putting as much spotlight on as many teams as possible. So thank you guys for tuning in. I want to, of course, thank all of our various sponsors there. You've seen them on your screen throughout. They're helping us put together a fantastic season with some great prizing at the end that we'll be talking about as the weeks progress. So big thank you to those guys, and of course, thank you to the teams and to the moderators for all that they do in the league and for the league. So I am pretty excited to get this underway. Now, I guess my first question to you is the objective here that the folks at home can't see it yet, but it is going to be Southeast Burning Building, and I don't know if this holds any water for you, Hutcho, but this is an objective that I think is near and dear to aggressive teams because this is where the bum rushes happen, right? Is that the kind of play style that you would normally approach this with, or did you have a different way?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
You know, a heavy East Lane 4 school bus rush accompanied by some smoke grenades and flashbangs going straight over that burning house. Mate, you've got yourself onto objective in the first 30 seconds of the round, and you're just hunting for the kills at that point. If no one's there, tablets out, caps coming in. So, you know, the main points of defense that you want to watch out for is pretty much on the porch of Burning House, and then over in the upper windows of the spawn house on the south side there for Volk. Even just the pre-fire off the start can be very lethal for both teams. So
yeah, that pre-fire, and it's kind of evolved, right, as the map has sort of shifted a little bit. I know there's been some corrections attempted to be made to not allow it in some areas, but you know, the league can be very inventive with their approaches, and we've seen some successful pre-fire already this season. I'm curious to see how more of that evolves, but that's such a, I don't know, it's kind of a rare strategy in a lot of games because a lot of maps are designed in a way where, you know, the lanes are sort of obfuscated. You got some areas of blockage. But this is the one map I feel like that really can be, you know, make or break based on how your pre-fire lands. You know, even if you don't kill somebody and you down them, you're stopping people from getting to their positions in time. You're slowing up the formation. It can be a really big deal for a lot of teams. So I'm curious to see if either team will utilize that strategy here on Suburbia. So we will see exactly what happens here. It looks like we do have everybody in the lobby. We should be ready to go. So I'm going to give the teams the green light and let them get at it. It looks like they are. Yeah, they are waiting on me. So there we go. We've got the match getting underway, and that means it's time to get into the gameplay, folks. And let's see what we've got in store for us for round one here on map 1, Blaze versus Leftovers.
Let's get it.
Like a little 3-2 split here from the Blaze team as they wait for the spawn box to open, and we'll listen intently for any pre-fire. I haven't heard any just yet.
No, Leftovers actually pushed 3 people straight out of that spawn location there, the pre-fire spot. So it could have been deadly, but it wasn't. Kasi over here.
Lati here taking shots underneath, yeah, pushing out one defender, almost getting into a good spot to catch this offense push, but now that's slowed up Blaze on this approach.
Kasi and Electra holding the objective with Geekier on the burning porch. We've got Paskin over here pushing through lane 1 now. Coming around the backside, going to be caught out by Fogcap.
Fog has a nice angle on it, is patient and finds the first pick. The smoke's now coming out from this Blaze side. They heard the gunshots there. And now they've got to put the pressure on. They lose another one as Electro picks up Toxic inside the playground, and Blaze down to just 3 early in this series.
They've lost a lot of control of objective over here, Leftovers have, but Geeky are holding strong on the porch, and there's still two people strong here in the spawn house as Electro goes down.
Zero not checking this porch, a common spot. Vati, though, able to grab a headshot. A little bit of balancing coming out here, and Kitten Mittens with that solid defense onto Vati does manage to spot out Geekia in the front, and now all of a sudden it's a 2v1. Fog Cabin, the last one.
Fog Cabin's got a lot of work to do here. They're coming from both angles. One over there in lane 2, and Vati over there straight on objective. Fog can't take his eyes off Vati here if he creeps behind those Hesco bags right next to the objective. Oh, he gets taken down though, but Foggy gets refragged by Kitten Mittens. That was a good flank there by the Marsok team in Blaze.
Yeah, they did a great job. I feel like they had the proper responses, right? They rotated to get the back of a defender. They were splitting the defenders constantly, so they had to keep checking back and forth to see if there was any pressure there. And Blaze able to capitalize. I mean, being down 2 members like that early in the series, and to bring it back, very impressive play by them. Let's take a look at that last kill by Kitten Mittens here. So Vati pinned down on the objective, and Fog obviously, as you were saying, had to make sure that he didn't make the cross to the objective, but that gave plenty of time for Kitten Mittens to find the backside of him and seal the deal for Blaze as we go up 1-0 for the home team.
Yes, I liked what Blaze did there, how they spread out across the map. They didn't just pick, one side of the map to attack. By sending people over to those lane 1, lane 2, they were able to get that crossfire, as you were talking about, clearing out middle house, which was free for their taking. No one from Leftovers challenged middle house there at all. So which made it very easy to surround that spawn house front yard, where 3 of the Leftovers players were defending from. And once you're surrounded like that, that's right, it makes it very hard to look in 2-3 different directions all at the same time and watch your angles. But Leftovers did a good job getting down to a 1v1, but the refrag from the split push at the end was too strong for them.
Let's see how the pendulum swings here for the Leftovers as they take over the Marsok for this burning building OBJ, and Blaze opts to defend. Will they be able to hold on both sides, or are we going to see some Marsok swaps here on Suburbia? And that's something interesting. I've been seeing that a lot lately in most of these games, is Marsok seems to have really taken that Volk advantage away. In a lot of places, I find Marsok seems to be winning more often than Volk does these days. It's an interesting shift from just even a season and a half ago.
Yeah, I find the smaller maps are really prone for those Marsok victories, aren't they? It's hard to say the same about the larger maps like Downfall, where it seems like it's Volk trading rounds the whole time, and whoever wins one Marsok round gets the entire map victory. But yeah, these smaller maps, just anything can happen. It's close quarters. Rushing around a corner can either result in a trade, you dying, or you getting the pick. So, most of it's 50-50 gunfights.
Yeah, and there's a couple of gunfights just primed and ready to go. Leftovers not as aggressive on their approach, and there's a couple of Marsok Volk engagements just waiting to happen here. You can see on the screen there Toxic and Kersey going together. Kitten will find the first pick on Electro in lane 4, and that's going to start opening this offense up. And there it is. Fog Cabin does find Vati in lane 1. Meanwhile, Carzzy does manage to scoop up Toxic in the playground, and they're kind of in the same situation that Blaze was in. They're down a man. They're early on, but they have managed to pick up 2, and this is going to be another. It's going to be another position for Volk to have to really battle it back, and this is not where you want to be on the first map.
That's right. Carsey over here, he just shot his M249 straight into the sky, trying to draw attention. I'm guessing he's trying to let Fog Cabin squeeze through lane 1 over there on the far western portion of the map. I'm not sure if he can actually see anyone.
It does seem like suppressive fire. Kitten Mittens will take a little bit of the bait, and Ring Monster and Geekia will absolutely clean that up, and that's just going to leave Zero, the lone defender, now under pressure from too many of the Leftovers, and that right there is going to seal the deal for leftovers, and we do see Marsoc trades here as the outcome for this first objective. Again, not surprising for that objective though, right?
Yeah, no, that's right. Honestly, I thought it was going to be more fast-paced than that. Leftovers did a great job of also spreading across the map, getting the crossfires onto the Blaze defenders, sending Foghaven around. Kasi and Fog clearing both sides of the map simultaneously, just leaving the defenders unaware of what positions they still had up defending, causing chaos. And it worked out. 4v1 is a very strong victory on a CQB map.
Yeah, they did that interesting baiting technique, right? They kind of made Blaze get peaky in order to draw them out of their defensive positions, and it's a good strategy, especially for somebody with a machine gun. You got the bullets to spare. You know, you may as well cause a little bit of chaos, and if the communication isn't there on the Volk side, you can really get people out of position and punish them for it, like we saw there.
Definitely. Moving over to the next objective, we're going to have the northeastern objective on the North Road. Couple of interesting cap spots you can do is right behind those Hescos, right on objective, and if you sneak up just to the south on that little concrete barrier, you can actually get some pretty decent cover from the northeast and get the cap on too. So let's see if any teams make advantage of those positions here this round.
Yeah, we are underway in round number 3. Leftovers on the defense now on the new northwest objective. Blaze trying to get themselves another point here. They've got to keep the lead. They've got to keep getting the points. They can't let this sort of Volk advantage take back over, or at least we'll call it the perceived Volk advantage take over here, and so they're going to be looking to get a point of their own as they push 4 up into mid, and Toxic going wide into lane 4.
Once again, another very passive defense for leftovers. I like how they're all sitting right back behind the objective because it's very open, forcing Blaze to cross into their lines of sight. Electro, though, in an interesting position, taking down Toxic Pain over here on lane 4.
Yeah, great little spot, and something I noticed in one of the other casts, Nightfire is talking about a pretty common one as well, as Ikia scoops up Pasquin and Blaze on the back foot for 2 Marsocs in a row, down to just 3 members of the offense remaining.
Zero pushing around lane 1 with Ayavati on his heels. Ayavati taking down Kasi though in lane 2. Zero does see Ring Monster's feet under the car, just can't quite connect with the shots.
That was a nice little heads up move by Vadi to spot that defender sitting there, and now he's in this kind of exposed position. He could get shot through that fence if he's not careful, but he's able to scoop up a pick and even things out here for the Blaze squad, and the trade will come out between Zero and Ring Monster, making it a 2-2.
I like what they're doing here. Kitten's pushing around to try and get that flank onto Foghaven again, but ends up being a 1v1 now. Kitten taking down the player over in lane 4, coming around behind Foghaven. Foghaven unaware of Kitten's location.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a Blaze win if Foghaven doesn't have his wits about him, and he does not, in fact, as Kitten Mitten scoops up the pick and Blaze go up 2-1 in this first map.
Man, Marsoc trading rounds, right?
Exactly.
It's a different game than it used to be.
It is a totally different game, and it's so interesting to see that. Like, Marsoc always was, you know, the thing that got your palms sweaty, right? You had there's like a mountain of work ahead of you to do, and it just felt like it was insurmountable. And now it kind of feels like you'd get more cautious and more panicky on the Volk side of the house, because it's like, oh no, like people are gonna swing around corners and pick me up before I can do anything, and it's an interesting sort of mental shift in strategy that a lot of these teams have to do. And I don't know, this has been an interesting, I wonder if we're gonna see this all the way through. It'd be a pretty unique Suburbia to not have a Volk lockdown, but the objective definitely matters, right?
Oh, 100%. If you're not defending that objective, you're just giving away the match. You know, a free cap is better than a Volk a Volk defensive win, that's for sure. Do you think it has anything to do with the average age of the player base now getting lower and lower as the Quest 2 brings all these new players out, these young kids? I find they are a bit finicky and can't sit tight and hold long angles for a long period of time. Maybe that's what's playing into the Volk, the Volk pains that's been happening.
It's possible. You know, it was always a problem for teams because you kind of get itchy. You want the kills. You have that sort of in your head mindset of I want to be the one that picks off these defenders. I want to be the one that gets the kills. I want to be the guy who saves the round for us. You know, like it's an interesting. I can't imagine that a younger player would handle it better than a lot of the adults that I've seen still get peaky, right? I mean, I know some of the folks on Blaze, and they're certainly not teenagers. Maybe in the heart, but not by age specifically. But we're into round 4, and the defense here from Blaze looking kind of interesting. Vadi tucking in inside of this little Hesco corner, which is a nice new spot, has not existed in previous versions of Suburbia, so a relatively new one, but should offer a nice vantage point. And an unfortunate team kill from Fog Cabin there, and that's a huge mistake.
Oh man, that's gonna hurt. That's just gonna punch your morale straight down the drain with that one. I do like Kitten's spot here. Very powerful spot. It's an unexpected spot too. If they have the defense on the lane 4 side, which they don't at the moment, it's not going to be very useful. But if Ring Monster pushes around the corner here, which he does, Kitten was able to take him down. Fog Cabin getting 0 at the same time.
Fog Cabin's not going to be ready for Vadi's push here on the side, and Toxic will clean up the final member of Marsoc. And as we spend all that time talking about no Volk advantage, Blaze holding a very solid defense there and absolutely locking out Leftovers, but they had a little bit of help. They had a little bit of help from Leftovers themselves, right? That team kill is... It's so demoralizing. You know, it's so hard to play the round knowing you did that. I wonder if that had any effect on that push, because they really got aggressive afterwards, right? They're like, oh no, we gotta go. And Fog Cabin there not aware enough to hear the footsteps behind him, and Vadi in that cheeky little spot picks up 2 and is now the kill leader overall, as you can see on the scoreboard there. He has picked himself up 8 kills so far in this series. Kit Mittens with 5. So a pretty solid.
Vadi's going really well.
Yeah. And the Leftovers, you know, again, that even kill spread is also really interesting. It kind of is like a marker for teamwork, right? Like everybody has their area of coverage or their approach, and it seems like everybody's kind of firing on all cylinders, but it's just not quite clicking in a couple of instances, as we saw with that team kill. So we'll see if they can clean it up. Plenty of rounds left. We're only in map 1 if you just tuned in, so you haven't missed a whole lot. But Blaze now poised to take this first map if they can lock in this Marsoc round.
That's right, sitting on match point, and the objective is going to be moving over towards the red car on the North Road. So slightly different, slightly the same, but let's see how much defense changes here on this next round.
Round number 5 underway now, and Leftovers need to hold on here on defense if they want any hope of taking this first map. Now, this is Blaze's map choice, so it is a map I would expect Blaze to be feeling comfortable on, and if they get the win, I wouldn't be too surprised. But again, another thing I've noticed is a lot of teams winning on the opposite team's map picks. You know, we're kind of shaking things up quite a bit in this this season of Onward, so it's been an interesting... I'm not taking anything off the table anymore, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Anything can happen. 1 cap here will bring it back up to 3-3. Sorry, no, it won't.
No, the other way, yeah.
On defense.
that would be
a cap
be
here
crazy.
will make it 5-1. So Leftovers just need to hold on here. You know, if they can get this round and get a cap on the next one, they can take it back. But you know, anything can happen. Geekia trading shots with Vadi over here. Nothing quite coming from it, but Toxic Pain able to take out Fog Cabin.
Look at all those smokes on the OBJ. The pressure's coming in on that side, and the defense all stacked, just tucked in, looking for Vadi. The pressure now coming in on Objective Zero, and Toxic Pain pushing Pad out. Rain Monsters, he does spot it. He does spot Zero. Now Vadi knows the
Toxic's
position
still
here.
there. He's capping. He got it. That's a 5-1 victory. Toxic Pain caps in the smoke on the red car. Excellent work there, mate. The teammate pushing in and getting taken down gave him a little bit of security. The leftovers thought they got the kappa, but that was just a decoy. Well done. Great play there by the Blaze team.
Yeah, that double cap, right? One in the smoke, one outside. You kill one, you think you've got him, and then all of a sudden, here we go. Toxic there to capitalize on that opportunity, and it was just not enough on the defensive rotation side, right? Like, they were so worried about Vati's position, the amount of pressure he was putting in that northwest corner of the map, that the rest of the Blaze team, you know, Toxic Pain scooped up 2 kills there, I believe, and just marched on through. Zero found 1. They got the smokes out, and the cap came in. So a really, really nice play there from Blaze, and they're going to go up 5-1, and we dive ourselves into map 2. Huncho, let the folks know what map 2 is going to be.
Oh, we're going to be heading on over to my favorite map in this beautiful game. That is going to be Quarantine, and we're going to be starting on the Plain Wing Courtyard objective. If you're not familiar with that objective, it's the one just east of the Western Tower, and this is prone for a smoke push by the leftovers here. This is one of their favorite maps. I play it with them a lot. Let's see if they can come back, cut that momentum loss out, and get back in this game. They are the underdogs by a lot for the Connoisseur picks today, but I reckon they have a good shot of taking this map.
Yeah, this is going to be, you know, I would say that Blaze is certainly no slouch on this map either, but it's a new team, and Quarantine requires, you know, a pretty hefty knowledge of your teammates' movements, rotations, how quickly they apply pressure, what angles they're watching. It takes time to build that again, and so this rebuilt Blaze team may struggle here, and this could be a really great choice for the leftovers if they're feeling comfortable on it. And they've got to respond, because now, what are we talking, 3, maybe 4 unanswered points from the Blaze squad. And once you start building that momentum, if you can't shut it down, it really can snowball on you.
That's right. This is where it shows the great teams from the good teams. If you can come back from a big deficit, then you know you've proved your worth. Win or lose, if you can put some more points on the board, keep your morale high, you know, your team's here to stay.
Yeah, we are going to see if there's any substitutions as well, as I think Blaze is rotating a member out, possibly. We're down to just 4 players in the lobby at the moment. Hopefully we won't have to kick it to an intermission just yet. But, I mean, what a great series it has been so far. In fact, why don't we have the folks take a look at a quick highlight reel. We've got that functionality nice and built in now, and there you go. You can see it on your screen. We'll go through some of the highlights of that Suburbia map. So if you missed it, this was sort of the feeling of Suburbia, and it's been an interesting series. They've had a lot of good on both sides. They've had a lot of good rotations. They've had a lot of good synchronized pushes. That we saw a good, like, when the chaos happens, it seems to happen all at once, but it does seem to be controlled. Which is really, really nice to see for these teams battling it up on their way up to the top of this ladder. So really, really nice match on Suburbia, and it looks like we do have our 5th in the lobby, but we'll let that highlight reel run through before we bring you all back to gameplay.
Naoko jumping into the lobby. The pistol god, as I like to call him. He gives you some interesting replays in the VRML Discord to look at, doesn't he?
Yes, yes, he absolutely does. We've got all kinds of fun clips, and Naoko has always been a player who thrives on the off-meta weapons, you know, and it's an interesting strategy to take because off-meta weapons are sort of in their own right a little unbalanced, right? It's usually why people shy away from them. So like a pistol, obviously a shorter range and obviously much more susceptible to body armor, so you have to be good at hitting the headshots. But if you have the steady hand and if you know how to utilize it, it is a dangerous weapon. You know, a headshot is still a headshot, and because you can be so quick with pulling the weapon up, because you don't necessarily need a stock, in fact it's a hindrance to use it with a stock, you can really get a nice boost from it, a movement boost, and of course a sort of overall agility and mobility boost. So using these off-meta guns is, and we see a lot of players doing it throughout the league. There's sort of like a little stable of folks who try to use off-meta gear and equipment. You know, but when you're good at it, it makes for such fun gameplay, and it makes for such exciting action on the screen because you just don't expect it. You know, who expects somebody to get a whole slew of kills with just a pistol against all these guys with high-powered rifles, right? I mean, it's chaos, but it's so fun to watch.
Yeah, and just his ability using these guns, you know, he knows he has to get close so he can be accurate. He's become a master of maneuvering the maps. You know, 1 second he's across the map, you spotted him, you know, crossing the road from a couple of clicks away. The next moment, he's right up on you, he's right behind you, he's tasering you, and he's hacking your tablet, kind of thing. You know, you never know where he can be. He's he's a very, very good player. I look forward to seeing what he comes out with here.
And we will see how leftovers respond. It does look like we may be resetting some headsets and so on inside of this lobby. So what we may do here is just go to a brief intermission. Let's just... Oh, I lied. Look at... See, you just got to threaten it.
Just gotta mention the intermission.
You just gotta say intermission one time, and the teams will be like, "Oh no! I am ready to go." Well, no intermission for us. We're getting ourselves directly into gameplay as round one kicks off here on Quarantine. Blaze on the defense, leftovers on the offense. Map 2. Let's get into it.
Very good spawn for this objective here over on the north wall, giving them options to go straight to the west and get some early advancements on the map control, or they could head east and go for a long flank around to hospital relatively slowly, but that means they possibly won't be spotted out crossing the roads as teams would have thought they had already or not decided to do that. Bog Cabin taking some shots here into Center Hotel. Sorry, Center burning with Paskin taking cover, not getting hit.
It's interesting because it drew the attention of Naoko here on the roof, and he had a little sight line onto the members of MARSOC rotating across to the northwest corner, and they've gotten through now. Now he's going to be a little off his rhythm, I would like to think. In trying to figure out where these members of the offense are. The shots from Ring Monster there should start to paint a better picture of where the offense is, and Naoko finds the first pick of the round.
Yeah, we've got Kasi, Geekia, and Electro all on the ground floor of this crash building now, clearing it out completely before electing to move on. Naoko on the roof, though, directly above Kasi, listening to the call-outs and feeding those back to his own team.
He is waiting for these rotations to come through, and Vaati is tucked in the basement of that building. I'm sure he's hearing all of these footsteps. Naoko taking a couple shots, not going to land. That's going to let this offense know exactly where some of these players are, and Electro and Vaati will trade out just there on the roof. That's going to make it a 4v2, as Zero had picked one up already. Karzi manages to find Vaati on the confirmation, but Kitten Mittens quick on the refrag makes it just one member of the offense left, and we'll ride along as Geekia tries to make the best use of these 4 minutes left that they can.
Man, it's so hard to clear out this crash buildings because there's so many floors. You know, you can hear the audio, you hear the footsteps, but you know, you have to guess. You have to guess which floor they're on. If they're above you, below you, it's hard to determine that while you're in game in the heat of the action, and that shows now. Leftovers losing 3 players on this one building now. Kitten Mittens has a line of sight. No, Kitman has just rotated off that line of sight right as Geekia walked into it. Naoko standing right above Geekia now.
He is waiting for him. He is trying to make it happen, and you can sort of see the a slight bit of panic in Geekia's rotations as he moves around and tries to find the best way out of this building. Like, you know, you're kind of trapped here now. It's like, how do you leave when there's someone on the roof? You know there's pressure across. And he's gonna push out here right into the sights of Naoko, still tucked in on that roof. And Blaze will secure a relatively dominant victory in round 1 of Quarantine.
Man, it's such a powerful position up on that roof. Even if it's on the top floor or the floor right underneath the top there, you have a complete overwatch of the objective. I'm not sure if they can cap. I think they probably can cap in cover behind the wing, but getting to that position while they have overwatch on that roof, it's near impossible. You can see everything. So great power play there by Naoko, getting up there, conveying to his team where the enemy's push is coming from, and just causing havoc by by talking to them. Even causes havoc. You know, they know you're there, they can't do anything about it, and it just slows them down, it wastes time. So great defense there from Blaze.
Yeah, that replay was from the first map, unfortunately. I thought I'd save that little pick by Naoko in the beginning of the round, but I didn't. Hey, what are you gonna do? Replays are they're a fickle being. But, I mean, plenty of replay fodder here for us in this match. We've seen some great positioning. I want to talk about, you know, Naoko getting up on that roof. That roof is not easy to get to. You got to be basically out in the open and visible from almost every spawn. And Leftovers there were just not quite in the right position. Nobody was expecting anybody to go up there, and they missed Naoko's rotation up there because it's usually a relatively easy pick. And it just goes to show how you really have to think ahead. You have to plan for, you know, every eventuality. Is the team going to take the roof? Maybe, maybe not, but you should always have somebody committed to at least checking it in the early parts of the round, because, yeah, he did a lot of damage up there for Blaze. We'll see if Leftovers opt to make the same commitment to the roof as they get underway here in round 2.
Look at that, you can already see Blaze and Pascuin. He's got his laser directly over that plane wing. No one's getting up there without being seen now.
Yeah, that is exactly what I was just talking about. It's an important, you know, thinking ahead strategy that you gotta have, because if you used it and it was that deadly to you, you gotta assume that the other team may do the same thing in the next round. And there they are, both Naoko and Pascuin watching it as Electro and Vadi get nice and close to each other. It's an interesting defensive position to be this far off objective this early in the round. Could be dangerous, but most of Blaze still down here in the southeast portions of the map.
Electro and Vadi are talking to each other right now, having a great old conversation on through the wall. Love to see it. Love to see it.
Unfortunately, yeah, I'm not getting proximity audio. So yeah, normally you would hear the audio from these players as Hutcho is on his side, but for whatever reason, not able to hear the audio of these players. And Vadi there, looks like he won that conversation as well as the gunfight that ensued. And that's going to put Blaze up 5-4 early in this round. And Kitten Mittens with a huge mistake. That's the second team kill. One for each team, and a really, really damaging one for the Blaze push.
So I think what happened there is Fog Cabin actually shot at Kitten through this tiny little gap in the hospital courtyard window, and Kitten reacted to that, seeing Vaddy just reflex shot directly at him. Unfortunately, it was a teammate and not an enemy defender. So, you know, it happens. It happens. Zero getting taken down from Ring Monster over inside the fuselage. It's now a 3 versus 3.5. Zero revivable, but it's going to be tough. Kasi trading with Kittens. Kittens getting the upper hand in the gunfight though. Naoko picking off Ring Monster. Actually, they traded over there as well.
Yeah, that is a full-on trade. Kitten just trading bullets, and now the res comes out. It's a 3v1 Fog Cabin on the inside here, and I do believe you can cap on the outside of the wall, so Fog Cabin has to rotate.
Close.
He's got to check
Fog
this
Cabin's
corner.
not ready for it.
He's not going to see it.
He got it.
There it is. Zero with the cap, and it's a 3-0 for Blaze early in the series. Zero, the man, downed early on the early push to the objective, getting rezzed by a nice play from Kitten, and getting that code in right underneath the nose of that final Volk member.
Man, that was beautiful. I love to see that. He crept straight up. You know, they were basically looking at each other, just the tight angle with those walls concealing his approach towards the objective. He found his spot. He sat in it. He punched the code in. That's 2 points to Blaze, bringing it to 3-0.
Yeah, that is huge, and such a good morale boost for this Blaze team, I'm sure. I think this is either 6 or 7 unanswered points now for the Blaze squad, and we talked about momentum, and now you're seeing it live in action. You know, as the team gets these points and gets more confident and starts really working together, the energy comes in. It's hard to stop, and Leftovers still have a chance. They can still put in a cap of their own, go on defense, get a point and tie things up, but it's a huge undertaking, both mentally and physically in this game. So we'll see how they respond in their next MARSOC outage, but the objective is now shifting. We're going to be right next to the hospital. We're going to be tucked in by the ambulance on that south sort of central side outside of the hospital, and this objective is very capable if you can get the defense to make a mistake.
Oh, it's so difficult to defend this because say you lose 2 or 3 players at the start of the round on defense, right, or even mid round. With 2 players left, you need to cover all of the outside of the objective and all of the inside of hospital. You can cap from the inside of the stairs, you can cap from the inside of the mini garage on the east side of hospital. There's so many places to get close to this objective, and just the lines of sight that you need to rotate around and watch, even if you're the last 3 players alive, it's very difficult to watch those and watch the incoming approaches from the outside at the same time. Naoko over here now, he's going to be peeking out to the eastern side, may or may not catch some rotating Leftovers players.
Yeah, they definitely want to ID these spawns as early as possible, not let the offense get set up too nicely, too close to the objective. And there's the angle that he's looking for. He takes a few shots onto Electro. They don't land, but that's information for the rest of the team.
That's right, they now know that they've got either an east or a northeast spawn, so they're not expecting anyone from the west. Electro, though, getting a beautiful shot onto Naoko. That clears out the whole entire eastern side of the map until they get to the hospital garage.
He was radioing in to the team the information there, and just took his hand off his gun and sights off that angle for just a second too long, and that was a great shot. To knock Naoko out. Now the pressure on to Zero as he tries to rotate back to objective. Fog Cabin going to keep him tucked in. Now Vadi looking to get engaged in this situation if he can.
Interesting that no one's gone around to the north side here to try and get a crossfire. It's a very, very heavy southeast approach from Leftovers here. Kasi picking off Paskin. That's the southeast clear now.
This is massive. This is exactly what Leftovers need. The smoke's coming in. Ring Monster does manage to scoop up Zero in that center burning, and we're down to just one member of Volk as Vadi taken out off the roof, and Kitman's in a great position to stop the cap, certainly, but he is going to have to take a death in order to do so. Not just yet, as he finds one.
So what leftovers need to do here, if they have an accurate kill count, they need to send someone around the other side, the backside of hospital. No, but Geekier elects to just take the kill. They might not have had an accurate kill count. I was going to say, you know, if they could send someone around the backside of the hospital there, get inside, there was nothing that Kitman could do about it. Geekier, though, finishing the kill, taking a point and breaking the fast that leftovers have been experiencing here. They finally found some leftovers in the fridge. They're eating, boys. They're eating. It's time to get hungry. Let's get some more points on the board for the leftovers. Keep them in this game.
Yeah, this is exactly what they needed. I mean, you gotta stay alive. You have to find your rhythm. You have to break up the other team's charge, and leftovers doing a great job there. I mean, that was damn near surgical by them. It was almost every shot landed when it needed to. They kept people pinned. They didn't allow the rotations. They found the long range shots. They had the perfect sort of encircling position for that final defender, and that's what you like to see. You don't want to be affected mentally by a cap, and they showed a great comeback there in that round. And now they head over to the Volk side of the hospital, and we'll see if they can put another point on the board and start catching up to what was a runaway map for Blaze.
Yes, there's still got a lot of work to do here. Like we were just saying, defense on this objective is very difficult. They can't let themselves be caught out, over-peaking, overextending on the lines of sight and getting taken down, because that will inevitably end in the loss of the map and the series. But hopefully, for the leftovers' sake, they can stay tucked, stay tight, get the kills as the enemy crosses their lines of sight. As I say that, though, Naoko getting a huge cross-map shot there, taking out the first defender in the first 10 seconds of the round.
The pressure is coming in hot and heavy from these teams. Vadi sending rounds down towards Geekia, he's got that LMG. I mean, he's got enough bullets to challenge this a good bit, but I mean, look what's happening off of that pressure. Zero and Pasquin already making their way up into center burning and starting to really apply that pressure directly onto the objective. I mean, 60 seconds hasn't even passed, and this map is huge, so this is a big amount of footage covered by this Blaze squad.
That's right. They've got two inside center burning here. One, Kitten Mittens, pushing all the way around the west. It is covered by Ring Monster, but he's not very concealed at the moment. Could be caught out fairly easily. They're lost. Geekier off the roof. Naoko hitting another huge long shot. There's those steady hands of Naoko coming into play, as we were talking about earlier. Zero, though, pushing into hospital, getting very close to the objective. Fog Cabin is in a position to possibly catch him out, but smoke is concealed right now.
Ring Monster doing a great job there, scooping up Pasquin, who wasn't ready for that corner position. And the pad is in the hands of Zero. He was checking the code, but he's got to deal with Fog Cabin here, who is looking like he's ready for him. He's not. Zero on the inside, and this could be a huge cap for Blaze and a 5-1 victory if they can punch the code in, and there it is.
That's massive. That's massive. 2 maps, 5-1 back to back. That is huge. Great cap there. Like we're saying, that's a very difficult objective to defend. Man, great job. Great offense by Blaze coming in from all the angles. And Naoko, just out of nowhere, hitting 2 crazy long shots. Man, that was impressive.
Yeah, with that M16, just finding the heads of those defenders tucked up on the roof, and that's the trade-off. That's where you gamble with a roof position. You are absolutely going to see a lot of the map, but there's a very good chance that someone's going to find your head, and so that definitely did not pan out for the leftovers. Those last 2 defenders, unfortunately, not able to crash back in time, and Zero getting the best of Fog Cabin on objective gets them the 5-1 win for the map and the series. But we do still have a third map. We are not quite done here, and I think we're gonna do a quick rehost as they set up the new lobby.
Yeah, that's right. That's either signifying a USS Quest pick. Maybe someone didn't have the map updated, but you know, I'm looking forward to this final map. Hopefully, we see some more great action. Motivation won't be lost on Leftover side, I'm sure, but Blaze really showing what they're made of there in those first two maps. Very impressive.
That was a great series to watch. It was a fantastic series here for these first two maps, and we are indeed going to be heading over to USS Quest for the final map. Your thoughts on this map, Hutcho? I haven't played a ton of this map, so I'm not the expert here. What's your take on it?
Honestly, it's like a big, a more elongated version of Cargo, in my opinion. I really like the fact that the red, the eastern side, the behind the cabin, comes into play a lot. As in, if you don't defend that and you let the offense or defense have full control of this red side, they come around for the flank, and you won't know what hit you. So, on the other hand, you've got this long catwalk, and you can, I don't know, it's win or lose with this one. You can get through uncontested, you can get a few picks and have really good cover while approaching the flanks of the enemy. But yeah, I don't know, it plays very fast paced. Yeah, I was kind of expecting this map pick from these two teams being super aggressive as they are. So I look forward to seeing what they come up with. I'm expecting a lot of smokes, a lot of flashbangs, possibly a sneaky C4.
Yeah, we have not seen any C4 play, which is interesting. Some teams definitely ride or die by their C4 on some maps, and Suburbia would likely be one of them. But none coming out that time. We'll see if USS Quest will shake that up a little bit, but I'm not expecting it, honestly. These teams have been playing so strong, really with just the shots, just the guns in their hands, that I don't think we're going to see a ton more other than maybe some more smoke usage. And as you said, a couple of flashbangs. But we'll see how this shakes out in the final map. If you just joined us, as you can see there, Blaze up 10-2 on the series so far with some pretty dominant rounds, but honestly, a lot that were very close. Leftovers have really given them a run for the money. They've had to fight back from being a man or two down in quite a few of these rounds, and so hats off to Leftovers for putting some maximum effort into this series so far, because Blaze definitely a lot of veterans on that team and a tough team to face. But they do have the chance to take this third map and soften the MMR blow just a bit. If you're not familiar with the MMR system, of course, if you are losing to a team, but you manage to take a map and especially a couple of points away and keep the sort of point spread close, you will lose less MMR as a part of that loss rather than the full amount. So it's still something to fight for in map 3, despite the series being decided already. And I don't think either of these teams is going to let off the gas. I would be shocked if I don't see some cap attempts from the Blaze folks, and honestly, to their detriment, possibly, right? Because you've already won, you're kind of like, I'll just go and whatever, I'll punch the code in and get this map over with. But that mindset can get you punished. You can get a team that'll run away with that third map just because you've gotten a little too confident, and you end up sort of losing MMR in the transaction. So Blaze has to keep their head down, because Leftovers are going to come at this, I feel like, 110%.
That's right, never get too comfortable. You play your best when you've got a smile on your face, but if you get too comfortable, get complacent, the enemy team can really shut you down fast. If you start making silly decisions, peeking lines of sight that you have no business looking down, One bullet's all it takes from the enemy team. So Blaze really need to stay focused here. Leftovers aren't no slouches when it comes to close quarters combat, which USS Quest will definitely bring. I look forward to seeing what happens here as some early smokes go out for the Leftovers mid-map.
Shots early from Fog Cabin. Just missed Zero as he makes the approach, and we'll see if these smokes end up helping the offense as they lay down a couple of their own on their approach down this objective, and a couple more still coming out from Toxic Pain and Pasquin as they really start to, you sort of create your own lanes with these smokes. Now, as I say that, Naoko and Vadi picking up two members of the defense quickly on both sides of the map, east and west. Naoko flashed here. He's tossing flashes of his own, but he's blinded. Geekia able to pop the corner in an unbelievable set of plays there from Naoko to blind the pushing man. And meanwhile, of course, the rest of the Blaze team just charging forth in the middle of the map, getting that victory for them with the cap. I mean, I didn't even know what to follow there.
Man, that counter flash. So that was a perfect flash from Geeky. It landed directly around the corner, but the counter flash was even more on point, followed up by a frag grenade, which got the kill onto Geeky, the final defensive member on Leftovers. Man, I copped a replay of that one. I'm going to be sharing that with the guys later on. That was amazing.
I mean, that was fantastic play on both sides, but as you could see in that replay there, the replay before we went to scoreboard, you could see Zero on the other side already on objective while that was happening. So I kind of got baited by the pistol fight and the flash fight with Naoko. And Blaze manages to punch in too, right underneath the noses of both the defense and
he got
the casters.
The cap?
He did get the cap, yeah.
Oh my god, they tricked us, man. They tricked us.
They
Jesus.
Absolutely did. I just barely, I mean, I could see it happening on the other side of the wall, and then when the points came up, I had to do a double take. That's why I played that replay. I had to see what happened. And Zero just pushed up under the smokes and got in. That pressure was so heavy with the gunfire down towards the western side of this aircraft carrier, and he just charged in. The defense all looking for that western push, not prepared for Zero's cap. But we're in round two, and Vadi managing to pick up a Marsoc kill already. We're only 20 seconds in as the pressure from the offense now has to come in as they're down the map.
Vadi spotting out Electro as well, trading a couple of bullets, nothing connecting though. I'm not sure if Vadi could actually see the first kill that he got. I thought he was just spraying through the smoke, so very good shots by him there.
It's interesting to see that nobody's really challenging the defense here that's set up on that eastern side with Naoko and Zero. Wonder if they're a little gun shy after what happened in that last round, and Toxic Pain manages to get a pick on his end. The trade from Vadi and Geekia knocked both of them out and make it a 4v2 as Electro and Fog Cabin try to get themselves up to this objective.
They've only got Toxic Pain to deal with here. They take him out. It's now a 4v3. Pasquin on the far northwest corner going to come in very close contact with Electro.
Zero does manage to scoop up Fog Cabin, and the refrag onto Pasquin comes from Electro, and now it's just this one left, and there's the pistol shots from Naoko. That sure sounds like a pistol. He's looking for the pick, but a little too much hubris there from our resident pistol man. Naoko gets him killed and makes it a 1v1. Plenty of time left as Zero rotates back to the objective, crashing, looking for the cap defense, and he absolutely needs this cap defense because they'll tie it up if he isn't able to hold it down, and they're just kind of dancing around crates here, but Electro winning out on the timing roulette gets Leftovers on the board here in map 3.
Great job by Electro there to just keep his cool. He saw there was one player left on his team, right? I'm not sure if he had an accurate kill count for the enemy, but he knew that they had to check objective, so he was just staying down there in the north corner, just waiting for someone to expose themselves, trying to check the objective, and that happened. It was perfect. Well played by Electro there. I love to see it.
That was a great round. Good patience by that Leftovers team and getting themselves into the right position for refrag opportunities on that Blaze defense. And we are now swapping sides yet again as we get ourselves situated in round number 3. Blaze on the offense yet again. I'm imagining, if I'm in the headspace of still being on that team, I'm thinking Zero wants this 4th cap of the game, so I think we're gonna see some serious aggression here as the round kicks off.
That's for sure. Zero gonna run straight into the one side of Kasi though. Well, Kasi ducking for cover. Not quite sure where the shots are coming from.
This pressure is huge. He's keeping 3 members of that defense occupied as Electro goes down to some of that fire, and now the Blaze offense starting to get up into position again. We're starting to see that smoke rain coming in again as the shots continue to ring out. Ooh, he's able to finish him.
Ooh, nice shot. I like how they're not smoking directly on the objective. They're smoking the positions where they think the defense will be, trying to cause a rotate of some sorts. Ring Monster taking down Zero now. Paskin pushing up on the southwest side here, going to come right around the back of Kasi. Oh, not able to take him down though. Kasi with a flick shot, getting him out. Iavati picking up the refrag. Geekia picking up that refrag. It's all happening now. Ring Monster goes down over on the east. Geekia last alive on defense, very far off objective here. This could be dangerous.
Yeah, he's going for a huge rotation, and there's no time for this. He's got to get back to the objective.
He jumped off the map!
Oh, no. I wonder, was that on purpose? I can't. I genuinely don't know.
See exactly what happened.
I wonder.
I just saw his body flying off the edge of the ship.
Let's take a look at the replay there and see if it's captured. No, unfortunately not. Just see the dropping off the side. Well, we'll see if somebody in the chat will catch it for us. But an interesting strategy. I guess he didn't want to get capped on, so an interesting way to die. You can, of course, disable the objective via your tablet if you're worried about a potential cap coming in as you're a member of the Volk team. But either way, Blaze going to get 1 point there in this third map and get themselves closer.
Am I mistaken? If you commit suicide when you're the last alive on defense, shouldn't it award 2 points to the Marsok team?
I do believe you're correct. I don't know that there's ever been a precedent for somebody falling off the map to die.
Right.
But I'm not.
That'll be an interesting one.
I'm not exactly sure how that pans out in the game's mechanics these days. But doesn't matter. Not for us to worry about. We're here to just cast the action as Blaze gets underway in their defensive round. Potentially their final, but Leftovers still absolutely able to punch in a code and tie things up, and the pressure coming strong from this defense as Ring Monster goes down. The confirm not gonna land. That's a res available.
That was a beautiful shot by Iavati there, directly across the map. Blaze have done their practice on this map. They know the lines of sight. I love it's beautiful to watch. Electro getting taken down by Zero, sorry. And Naoko over here on the eastern side. Fogcabin going to be pushing up directly into his line of sight very shortly through the smoke. Strong disadvantage for Fog trying to leave the smoke blind. Naoko with a pistol, taking down Fog. 5-7 kill for Naoko. Flashlight 5-7.
Had to work for that one. Toxic Pain and Karzi will trade out. And that's just going to leave the final member, Geekia, of the offense to try and deal with the 4 members remaining on this Blaze squad. And just like that, Vadi able to deal with that threat. And Blaze goes up 4-1 in the series. And will take all 3 maps away from the Leftovers here in this Week 4 matchup.
Man, that was a very impressive display of aggression and defense for Blaze, only allowing 3 points to be scored on them over 3 maps. That's a very, very decisive victory right there. Congratulations to Blaze, and well done, Leftovers, for giving it your best, man. Like, that's a tough that's a tough situation to be in.
Yeah, Blaze, not an easy squad, as we've talked about earlier in the cast. A good bit of veteran players on there. So, Leftovers, absolutely pat yourselves on the back. You gave a hell of a fight out there, but in the end, Blaze able to really get a handle on these maps and get the victory there. So, fantastic series from both of these teams. And a really good match overall. Really glad we were able to pick this one up and get it casted for everybody. I know there's still games going on the other channels. I don't believe any of them have completed yet, as we're just at about the hour mark here. So if you are interested in more of this Onward action, do go tune in to Onward VRML or Onward VRML 3. I believe both are still live. And check out the games heading out there, and then we will probably be signing off here. So I want to thank our sponsors, HyperX, VRware, Rebuff Reality, Fix Gaming, Asterion, and VR Cover and ProTube. A huge thank you to them for supporting the league. I want to thank our sponsors and our viewers as well for tuning in and hanging out with us here today. I want to thank the teams, the mods, and of course my co-caster Hutcho for joining me on this cast. If you're interested in joining the league, head on over to vrmasterleague.com/onward, or just check out the homepage. Plenty of other games there, like our Echo Arena, which is actually in its finals right now, happening this weekend. So tune into that if you want to see some cool disc throwing action. But that is going to do it from the casting desk here on Master League 2. I am your caster, Noman with a 4. I've been joined by Hutcho. We thank you very much. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys. See you next time.